Hey guys, Mr. Riz here. So I'm going to help you out with the third part of the 1.2.1 activity. In this one, we're going to try to make the turtle move when we click on it in our code. So I have my part 2 activity open here. All I'm going to do is, before I get started with part 3, is to fork this. So I have just a completely separate version of the activity. So I'm going to split screen this here so we can kind of see the instructions on the one side and the code on the other side here to make our life easier. So now that we've written the code that handles the event of the shape being clicked, and just to show you again, if we run this, if we click on the circle, once it pops up here, there we go, it will say spot was clicked, spot was clicked. Okay. What we're going to do next is try to make this move to a random location. So random is another module that we need to import. So what we're going to do first is to import that up here as we did with turtle. So we're going to import, really we could just do import random, but this as makes us write it shorter. I really don't see the point of that. Like all we're doing is saving literally 2 letters here, but people do that. So the random module has a lot of different functions. Some of it is just to generate a random range. So pick a random number in a range would be good here, or otherwise we can use the random to get a random element or a random choice from a list. We'll kind of do a little bit of both with the random here. So the one thing that we will look at most common is the method randint, and we'll start to end. So if I wanted to have a random number between 1 and 100, I put randint 1, 100, where I can get any random integer between that value. So, and including those as well. We could get 1, we could get 100. I could do choice and list. So rand.choice and give it a list, and it will give me just a random selection from that list as well. All right, so now that we did that, we're going to make another new function here, and we're going to make that function called the change position. The change build function will not have any parameters, so we won't need any X or Y or in here. But we're going to move the shape into a new random location. We first have to generate the numbers for the X and Y coordinates. So our default screen here is 400 by 300, where 400 is the length up and down, and 300 is the width. And the center of the screen is at 0, 0. I think that's how it works out. We might have to change these numbers based on our module here. So what we're going to do is have it generate random numbers for the X and Y location. So let's get this started. We're going to do define, and what should we call this? What do they say? Change position. Change position. And we're not going to have any parameters in it, so we'll just leave it blank. So let's get that random X and Y location. So we're going to generate random ones, and we couldn't draw a grid to help us kind of figure out what's going on here, but I think we can figure out what to do next. Is in the change position function, we need to create variables for the new X and the new Y position. And we'll just call that like new X position is equal to, and we'll type that out in a second, and we'll also do new Y position. Okay, so we want this to be some random number between, let's see, if we were at the point 0, 0, this is part, and we know that the length or the width is 300, so our X position needs to be some random integer between negative 150 and positive 150. And our Y, which is our up and down, negative 200 to 200. So I got a little error, and if we hover over it, it says, all right, so we have a new local variable, but we never use it anywhere, which is true so far. We haven't used it, so there's no need to worry about it. What we want to then do is then make our turtle go to this spot after we get that. So spot.goto, new X position, new Y position. And now that we use it, you can see the green lines go away. Okay, so we have our change position set up to make a new X and a new Y based off of this random integer value. And we're going to have our dot go to that new spot. Problem is, what we need to do is kind of make this connection get binded with whenever we click on it. So far, the only thing that we have is our defined spot click is to be when we click on the spot, we just say spot was clicked. So let's actually do this. After we click on the spot and tells us the spot was clicked, let's call the change position function. And we can do that by just putting the change position function inside of this function. So we nested it. There's going to be a problem here though. If I run this, it probably will tell me an error. Actually, if I, no, not until I click on it, right? Oh no, it's working fine. All right, so typically before there used to be an error where I cannot run a function here or have a function built in until I define it before. So typically the rule of thumb is I'm going to cut that out and I'm going to paste this out. I have to define what this change of position function is before I execute it. So that'd be better. Now we kind of notice here, we can click on it and it moves, but it also is dragging. So let's kind of debug that. Let's fix that up. So we want to make sure that our pen is up when we make our turtle, right? So we run it, you should notice the trail. All right, let's use pen up, pen down, and high turtle to help us fix this. I think all we need to do is like after we make the turtle, spot.pen up, pick the pen up. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if we'll ever want to go back and put the pen down, but right now it's just going to different spots every time we click on it. Okay, if you got this going and it moves all around, you are done with this assignment here. So go ahead, share me the link, and I will see you guys next time.